This wouldn't be prime time without our guest analyst's presence to give his perspective on nearly everything we've covered on the program. And today I'm joined here in the studio for the rest of the show by Rise News analyst and former chairman of the Daily Trust newspaper editorial board, Mahmud Jega. Good to see you and thanks for your time. And we had a fine start listening to Kasim and Wafo Rizu talking about the politics of the National Assembly. Even though everyone still thinks it's an internal affairs, it affects everyone. We're all interested in this bickering. Speak to us on the politics and how divisive we have started seeing the APC in terms of choosing unified, perhaps, leadership candidates.
Well, it was a very interesting discussion that we had there between Wafo Rizu and Kazim, and the bottom line of their arguments was whether the South-South deserves the position or the Southeast. And you know, in an argument in politics, everybody has enough points to bring. Kasim was saying the South never produced a Senate president in this republic, and Wafo Rizu was saying, but you produced a vice president and even a president. And then there was a question of who contributed more votes. APC got more votes in the South than it got into the Southeast, and all that argument. But as Kazim said, there is a meeting going on tonight between the President of the Republic and all the senators. And I think basically he will appeal to them for decorum, because these agreements have to be done within political parties. It is not necessary for opposition party members to agree with the President's view on the zoning of the leadership of the National Assembly. The only thing is that it looks like the opposition parties, 6 of them in the National Assembly, could not reach a consensus on which candidate. You know, when they had a meeting about 10 days ago, they said nobody indicated interest among the opposition parties. But that was realistic, because in the Senate, for example, APC not only has a majority, but it apparently has the collaboration of the NNPP senators and also of the PDP senators in the Wike camp in Rivers State. So it's like they have an unassailable majority. So the opposition senators thought maybe it's futile to even say you are interested. Now, in the House of Representatives, the 7 opposition parties together have 5 more members than the APC caucus. But again, the problem is lack of unity among them, because they suspect that the 18 members of NNPP and also the PDP members from Rivers State under the influence of former Governor Wike are more likely to collaborate with APC. So because of that, everybody just left things to APC. But then the main problem we have right now is within APC itself, because there are candidates from other regions like Kiari, like Betara, like Gagdi, and in the Senate there is Izunaso and Orji Kalu, who are still insisting on contesting. And really, unless APC puts its house together, then you cannot rule out the possibility that the opposition party members could gang up, support one candidate and propel him to the leadership, as happened before, for example, with the election of Tambuwal as House Speaker in 2011. So I can see why the president is not resting. He's holding all these meetings, because there could be upsets.
Because I like the caveat you've placed there, unless the APC puts his house in order, because they've been browbeaten before.
Yeah.
And the president was even, pained then when that happened. So it's getting worse, because at that point in time, they had fewer candidates, fewer people who were interested to go against the party. But now look at the names you just reeled out.
Yeah.
You have more names. So people are wondering what's going on within the APC.
In the end, the leadership will most likely have its way. it's quite possible they will be able to put together a majority. The only thing is, you know, we wouldn't know everything that is happening backstage. Some of the aspirants who show real strength, you will have to compensate them in other ways, either with choice committee chairmanships, or even with some executive positions, not necessarily for them, but for their supporters. Because politicians, you never know. If somebody says, Senate President, I must contest, maybe he's not really after that. Maybe he wants the president to say, okay, bring the ministerial nominee from your state, you know.
Something to bargain with.
Exactly. Politicians, you never know. But we will see if after tonight's meeting, there are still discordant tunes going into the weekend, then possibly there could be a problem before the inauguration of the new National Assembly.
Let's see if we can close on what is really happening. It looks as if the APC, the president inclusive, and some few other members have the expertise, you know, in resolving, you know, some political issues. We saw what just transpired with the labor unions, with Adams Oshomole at the center with his comrade colleagues, and now we're seeing the president, who's always been a strategic politician, going into this meeting you just highlighted. So how does this help the party, knowing full well they have a handful of strategists at every point in time?
There's no doubt that the president is one of the most experienced politicians in Nigeria. He has a record of backroom negotiation and solving problems, not to talk of the fact that now he also is the president of the Federal Republic. That's why my feeling is that most probably he will be able to work this out. But you see, there will be lots of give and take behind the scenes because, as I said, everybody has his own argument. And in the end, if the wish of the party leadership and the presidency prevails that allow the South-South zone, for example, to produce the Senate president, then you must make some concessions and some offers to the Southeast zone, for example, not necessarily with the legislative, but even with executive positions. They may not announce this, but these are some of the things that are most likely to happen behind the scenes.
Mahmud, can we do this in a minute? Security, and you heard Kabir Adamu talking about what's on the plate for the new governors and what the government should do to ensure that these regions are safer than the method.
There is no doubt that a lot of investment was made in security in the last few years, and we did see the effect. I mean, Boko Haram is a shadow of itself. The sea pirates are also substantially reduced. Even the kidnapping along the major highways has reduced. But the danger is that it could easily resurface if you let your guards down. So it is very important for the federal administration, new one, and also the governments in all the states to make security their top priority, as Dr. Kabir said.
Mahmud Jega, I'd like to thank you as always for your time.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for this edition of Arise Prime Time. Do join us again tomorrow from me and the entire team here in Abuja. Goodbye, and thanks for watching.